Yes, welcome all. Before I begin, I'd like to do the usual tech talk. So keep yourself on mute, and if possible, when the storytellers are telling their stories, please keep your videos off. The reason being, the storytellers, and we'd like you to fully immerse yourself in their stories. Okay? So are we all ready to begin? Then put your hands together. Namaste, namaskara, vanakkam. And let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When we read, we begin with A, B, C. When we sing, we begin with Do, Re, Mi. When we tell stories, we begin with Once Upon a Time. Once upon a time, perhaps in 91-92, a group of storytellers in Sweden got together and celebrated the March equinox as the Day of Storytellers. This passed on, and in 1997, in Perth, Australia, they came together on March 20th again to celebrate the Day of Oral Narrators. Then this spread throughout the Scandinavian countries. And 1 year after the other, people started celebrating storytellers coming together to share stories. It moved to Canada and then back again to Netherlands. And in 2008, I'm told that in Netherlands, 3,000 children were surprised to see storytellers walk into their classroom to tell them stories. Wow, that made me feel very, very excited. Could we do that? Well, that's what we're doing right now, though virtually maybe. And then from 2009 onwards, World Storytelling Day has been celebrated across nation. In 2013, Bangalore Storytelling Society was registered as a society bringing together a collective of storytellers. That means we are all storytellers who come together just to share the passion of storytelling. And the very next year, 2014, we celebrated World Storytelling Day. Actually, right at the beginning, we wanted to do something very novel, and we made World Storytelling Day celebrations as an online event. Yes, right in 2014. That time it was quite novel. Now it's very normal to do online storytelling. But anyway, so here we are once again, Bangalore Storytelling Society, just a space, a platform to nurture amateurs, professionals who love stories to come together to promote the art of oral storytelling. And I must acknowledge at this point, all those wonderful storytellers who have shared their stories on this platform right from the beginning, every month, every time we meet, and then for World Storytelling Day too. Some of them are here with us, some of them have moved on, but definitely the stories they have shared have remained with us. Their voice has added that note to the community song that we sing when we meet, when we share stories, to create what I call the opera of life. And so we have storytellers sharing stories, where every story shared is a new beginning, not just for the storyteller, but perhaps for the story also, and definitely for the listener. So today we have our first storyteller, Aparna Atreya. She is the founder of Kid and Parent Foundation, a storyteller, a corporate trainer, and also a STEAM educator, teaching life skills in schools through storytelling, through stories. And above all, a dear friend, and also one of the co-founders, one of the founder members of Bangalore Storytelling Society. And you know what? Her favorite story is Bated Breath. Her favorite story is very simply, but a very deep story, the Ramayana. Please, Aparna Atraya, please share your story of new beginning.
Thank you so much, Soumya. It's such a pleasure to be here on the other side of BSS to share a story. I'm most delighted, and we meet on a very auspicious day as far as I'm concerned. For World Storytelling Day. It's the day of new beginnings for sure, even for every storyteller. This is like the Varshaparukku or the Ugadi for all storytellers. So thank you for having me. I have to take you to the heartland of Karnataka for my story. Begins like this. Aha! Oh ho! Channappa Channegowda Kumara Madida Kodanauva Channappa Channegowda Kumara Madida Kodanauva ಚಂದಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದೇನೆ ತಂಗಿ ನೀರಿಗೆ ಬಂದೇನೆ ಚಂದಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದೇನೆ ತಂಗಿ ನೀರಿಗೆ ಬಂದೇನೆ said that little girl who was holding a pot on her head and walking from her village to the village well. It was a long walk, and she had a nice long plait. And every time she took a step, Gedje melon gedje. Every time she walked with her anklets on, there was a tinkling sound. And as she walked, the long plait went to the left, went to the right, went to the left, went to the right. And her beautiful dark face had a nice small bindi, just like the way I'm wearing. And she wanted to see her face when she went to the village well. You see, she was most excited because she had dressed up. All her friends will come to the village well. And as she walked, she was delighted, and she swayed to the left and she swayed to the right, all the way there. And there she took the rope of the well, put it around her pot, and she lowered it as she looked down there. And she was in a shock, for there was no reflection, because there was no water, because the well was dry, because the sun was right above her head. Back then, a long time ago, the sun was right above people's head. The sky was right there. You could nearly touch it. And because it was so low, because it was right above your head, everything would dry up. There was not a blade of grass that was green. There was nothing that grew. And things were so very hot. People were always sweating. People was always cursing. Imagine being in the Sahara Desert 24/7, 365 days of the year. How crazy would it be? So everyone was always screaming at each other. Papas and mamas were screaming at their daughters. Daughters were screaming at their husbands. Husbands were screaming at their brother-in-laws. Brother-in-laws were screaming at the gardeners. Gardeners were screaming at the cooks. Cooks were screaming at the kings. Kings were screaming at the queens. And everyone was also screaming at the storytellers. So everyone was screaming at everybody. And it was a terrible time. Then what happened? It was so very hot that people did the weirdest things. You know what happened? There was an old farmer. He said that it was too hot. I want to do something innovative. You know how we are doing so many innovative things for this pandemic, no? You think innovation is only now? No. Long time ago, Raita, the farmer, came up with a brilliant idea. He said, too much hair. On my head, there's too much hair. I just need to go and get my hair removed so that there's little left for me to sweat, at least on the top of my head. And so he went to the barber shop and he sat down. And the man behind, the barber, he took his blade and he was also most happy. Finally, he had found a customer. Sir, 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 sir. He went removing every blade of hair that he had on his head, which was a big mop of hair. Finally, he was a bald, completely bald. And he touched his head. Aha, smooth. Raita was most happy. His head was shining. And the sun was reflecting on his head. It was so good. I tell you, it was like a jewel on top of his head. And there, as he walked back, suddenly he realized that the novel idea was not so novel after all, because the head was shining on his bald head. So harsh. It was so bright and it was so hot that he was feeling terrible inside. It was like his head was going to burst. Ayyo bisulu, ayyo bisulu, sayo bisulawa, ayyo sayo bisulawa. If you're on your video, you can do this. Ayyo bisulu, ayyo bisulu, sayo bisulawa. Ayyo sayo bislawa. He couldn't bear it. He just could not bear it. As he walked, the sun began to shine and the heat was so much that his skull just cracked. You know, like a puppet, like a fryam. Done. That was the end of the Raita, the farmer. Now, not too far away was his house. There, his daughter, who was grown up, she loved to eat akki roti. You know, with rice, they make rice bread. Oh, it's the tastiest. And when her mother made it, oh, with that chili chutney, just a little bit of akki roti with the chili chutney, she would love it. Her mother told her, you cootify the rice, you pound the rice, and then only I can make it for you. So she took the gare and kita. Gare, kita. Kutani. Okay, she took the gare, which is the pestle, the mortar, and the pestle. Kita. Kutani. Okay, kutani is what you pound with. And then she took, and she went, tap, 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 tap. And you know how big that kutani was? That pestle was so tall because she had to pound with all her strength. Imagine rice becoming fine powder. You really had to pound and pound and pound again. Now, you know, I told you how low the sky was. And she had to really pound it. And the pounding action, her arm went up and down, up and down. You know how much of sweat was coming down her armpits? I can't tell you. So much of sweat was running down her armpits, running down her hair, running down her clothes. And she was feeling terrible, going tapu, 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 tapu. Ayyo beveru sweat. Ayyo beveru, ayyo beveru, sayo beverava, ayyo sayo beverava. Ayyo beveru, sayo beverava, ayyo sayo beverava. And she got so mad, she ran it. She rammed it down. And as she rammed it down, that kutani flew out of her hand and it went right on top and it rebounded. Just like how a ball rebounds off the wall, it rebounded off the sky. Top! Again, pata, 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 pata. Just like a fried fryam puppet, her head, skull just broke into two. And she lay dead. Now imagine husband Raita lay dead and daughter Hudigi also lay dead. The Hendati wife came and she saw, and then somebody was screaming, hey, your husband has died, ayyo. And as soon as she saw their husband dead, daughter dead, and that's when a woman's wrath knows no limit. And that was a moment in the history of mankind and womankind. A woman's wrath was truly shown, for she looked at her daughter and then she looked at the sky. Have you on mute? Because there's a lady who's very angry. She might not like you unmuted. Yeah. So she looked at the sky and she looked at the sun and she said, Dushkarmi, Dushta, Chandala. She gave all the bad words that there ever was in Kannada and she screamed and she said, you, Chandala, you, the terrible, you scoundrel, you, XXXXXX, why, star. She said everything and she said, this is what you have done to my family. I curse upon you. You will never stay above my head ever again. You will leave now. Go. And the sun and the sky had no choice because she said, go. Even before they could think, they had to just leave because the curse was upon them. And up, they started to go. Slowly. They went more and more until they were going quite far away. Now, in the same village, unknown about any of this, there was an Agasa washerman. Washerman was busy because all washermen, because people used to sweat so much, they had to go and keep on washing clothes. Washerman was the busiest man in the whole village because everybody used to keep sweating. So the washerman had so many clothes, and all his clothes, he had bundled it up and he had put it on his katte donkey. He put it on the katte and then he said, hi. And then suddenly the donkey, which was so full of clothes, it got mad at him. What do you mean? And then it started to trot like a horse and it started running. Oi, Nilu. He was scared that he'll lose the only donkey that he has. How will he take all the sweaty clothes? So Nilu, stop. Where are you going? And as he said, stop, the sky and the sun, which was finally beginning to think, heard, stop. Abba, please, somebody has some daya on us, some compassion on us. Somebody has asked us to stop. And they stopped where they were. Just like that, they stopped. Not too far away, that it was always darkness, and not too close, that we were always hot and sweaty. Just the right place. And that is why, ever since that day, for all of mankind, it was a new beginning, because the sun was just at the right place. And I believe that the end of the story is the beginning of everything for all of us. You see, every day the sun shines upon my head and the sun shines upon everyone's head all around the world. I believe that it is a new beginning for us to rise and shine. Oh ho 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 ho
ho. Very nice, awesome. I know for our listeners, we are both named Aparna, so we're not delusional. I'm not talking to myself. I'm just when I call her Aparna, it's actually my friend here. Awesome story, as a beautiful tale. And would you like to tell our listeners first the source of the story?
Yeah, so this story is of course a folk tale. So I'm sure there are many sources, but the most accessible source is A.K. Ramanujan's Flowering Tree and the oral tales that have been there put together in a collection by him. And it's called The Sun and the Sky. And it's a very simple tale, but of course it has a profound meaning if you choose to find it.
And what is the profound meaning that for you as a person, as a storyteller, that you found in this tale related to our theme, New Beginnings?
Yeah, well, I think that the profundity in this is really about balance. I think the moment we find balance in whatever it is that we are doing, it is a new beginning, no matter what we are doing. The moment you touch upon a balance, you found a beginning. And this story is a story of how the sun has found his balance to help us. And in that is a new beginning. And so it is for every balance that each of us, I hope, find in our lives.
Beautiful, beautiful. Maybe right now we are in that balancing act, however painful it is right now.
Indeed.
Thank you so much, Aparna. Pleasure having you. Thank you so much. And from Bangalore, India, we move all the way to Malaysia. Our next teller is Noor Azhar Ishaq. He's an award-winning children's book writer and illustrator. He's passionate about literature, science, art. He's a professional educator and a storyteller. He's based in the NAI Art Studio, where he writes and illustrates books, produces works of art, and conducts training programs for learners of all ages. This studio also houses a children's book, picture book library and a storytelling center. Noor Azhar has also been active in the local and international storytelling scene. He's an avid fan of traditional Malaysian storytelling and wishes to share the country's wealth of beautiful stories with this world. Really can't wait to enjoy sharing that wealth. Welcome on board, Noor Azhar Ishaq. Stage is all yours.
Thank you, Aparna. Right, okay. Yeah. Okay. Selamat datang, selamat malam, namaste everyone. Okay, I practice that, right? Okay, a shout out to you guys for organizing this, and thank you so much for inviting me. And I saw some Malaysians here, Malaysian children and parents. They're joining and they say hi, but I was like, I don't want to disturb the chat. So hello, korang, thank you for coming. Okay, so I'm very happy to have you guys. And namaste to all children of India. I'm so happy to see you guys, all right? And all the storytellers too. I'm happy to be here, joining platform to celebrate World Storytelling Day, right? So the audio and video, can you see me? And can you hear me, right? Perfect. Right, and I picked a special story, right? I picked a special story for all of you. The story is rarely told in storytelling events, I guess. Well, there are some reasons, but I think you should listen to it first and then you will judge, then you will know why, right? But I want to pick this one because I thought it's special and it signify something like a new beginnings to me, at least to me. Here goes. And the title is The Story of Pak Pandir. Pak Pandir is a guy. So here's a story about him. Once there lived a man called Pak Pandir. Everyone in his village called him a fool. His wife, Mak Ande, and their son, Awang, and daughter, Ara, also thought that he was a fool. Pak Pandey was always dreaming. And he dreamt at night, he dreamt in the daytime. He dreamt of beautiful and happy world. Well, it's a good thing that he dreamt like that. One day, Mak Ande said to her husband, Pak Pandey, can you please go and get a buffalo? We need one to plow our rice field. Okay, right? So in case, right, if you're not familiar with buffaloes and the plow, right, I got a picture here. Okay, you see the buffalo plowing the rice field. All right, okay, right. And Pak Pandey asked his wife, what is a buffalo? Awang and Ara, the kids, laughed. They were little children, but they knew what a buffalo was. You see, all these years, their neighbors, old buffalo, had helped plow their rice field, and their buffalo had just died. Now it was their turn, their family's turn, to go and get a buffalo. Then their buffalo, Pak Pandi's buffalo, can help to plow their neighbor's rice field too. You see, Pak Pandi, he has seen many buffaloes in his life, but he never thought about them. He did not know they were called buffaloes. He lived in his own world of beautiful dreams. You see, he thought he saw buffalo, but he didn't know what buffalo is. Right? So Ma Ande asked Awang and Ara, the kids, Awang, Ara, can you please tell your father what a buffalo is? And Ara, the daughter, said, Father, a buffalo eat grass and but Pak Pandi quickly responded, all right, I know. Ma Ande gave one day, Ma Ande gave Pak Pandi a gold chain to exchange for a buffalo. You see, in those olden days, people did not use money. They just exchanged things. A gold chain was about the same value as a buffalo. So Pak Pandu went off singing happily. A buffalo eats grass, a buffalo eats grass, a buffalo eats grass. And after a while, he came to a field. The grass had grown long and a man was cutting it with a sabit, right? In Malay, we call it sabit. And in English, we know it as scythe. Can you see it? Right? You know, you cut grass with it, right? So Pak Pandi said, a buffalo eats grass. That thing is eating grass very fast. It must be a buffalo. So he went to the man and said, I'd like to buy your buffalo. The man turned and saw Pak Pandi pointing at his side. The man said, it's you, Pak Pandi. How clever of you to know a buffalo when you see one. You see, Pak Pandi was very happy to be called clever because most of the time he was called a fool. He said, of course I know what a buffalo is. A buffalo eats grass. And the man smiled and said, that's really clever of you, Pak Pandi. Pak Pandi showed the man Ma Ande's gold chain, and the man could see that it was valuable. He then said, my buffalo is a very fine one. Is this all you have to exchange for it? Pak Pandi said, yes, but I can ask my wife to come here and look at your fine buffalo. Then maybe she can give you more of these things. But the man responded hastily, it's okay, never mind. I'll take the thing now and you can have my buffalo. You see, of course, he better take this opportunity before Pak Pandi and his family realize how foolish Pak Pandi is. Pak Pandi then thanked the man. He even thought, wow, such a kind fellow. This is a beautiful world full of kind people. He gave his wife gold chain to the man. And the man took the scythe, sabit, and went home. Upon arrival at home, he called out happily, Ma Ande, Awang, Ara, I brought you guys a fine buffalo. And Ma Ande, Awang, and Ara rushed out to see their fine new buffalo. And they asked, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And Pak Pandi showed them the what? Pak Pandi showed them the scythe. And proudly said, isn't it a fine buffalo? And the two children laughed so hard, but Ma Ande cried so hard. Why? Because Pak Pandi had exchanged her gold chain for a scythe. So what do you expect? For 3 days and 3 nights, Mak Ande did not speak a word to Pak Pande. No, not even a single word, because she was so angry at him. But guess what? Pak Pande did not even notice, because you can guess, because he's always dreaming. On the 4th day, late in the evening, Mak Ande said to Pak Pande, Pak Pande, I'm cooking something special tonight. Please go to the good giant's house and bring him here to have dinner with us. What? Good giant? Yes, he's huge, but he's good. Everyone in the village know where the good giant lived. Everyone except Pak Pande. So Mak Ande gave him directions. She said, okay, go straight from here, okay, until the path becomes 2 paths, one to the left and one to the right. Take the left path, not the right path. Remember, left, not right. The left will take you to the good giant's house, but the right one take you to the bad giant's house. Okay, so Awang, the son, reminded his father, remember father, left, not right, left, not right. If you go to the right, you're going to find the wrong house, you're going to meet the bad giant, and he will eat you up. Pak Pande looked dreamy as usual. Mak Ande made him say over and over again, left, not right, left, not right. What? Left, not right. Always go to the left, okay? And he went out saying it over and over again. And after a while, he began to sing it. To the left, not to the right, not to the right. To the left, not to the right, not to the right. To the left, not to the right, not to the right. He sang and he sang and he sang. And as a daytime dreamer, he also went on dreaming. He dreamt of bad giants turned to good giants. Wouldn't this be good? If this happens, the world will be really a happy and a wonderful place. But somehow along the way, the words change. So instead of to the left, not to the right, not to the right, he sang to the right, not to the left, not to the left, to the right, not to the left, not to the left. And he took the path to the right. He did not realize that he took the wrong path. Do you remember where this one leads to? Yes, this one leads to the bad giant. Oh no, Pak Pande, what have you done this time? And upon arrival at a huge kampong house, he knocked on the door. And the bad giant opened the door. The bad giant greeted with a huge smile. What a pleasant surprise! A plump and juicy Pak Pande ready for my lunch. And Pak Pande said, thank you, good giant. Thank you, good giant. That's what he thought. I'm actually surprised you know me. The bad giant chuckled. I'm happy you don't know me, but who doesn't know you, Pak Pande? You're a famous fool. I'm sorry, I mean you're famous. Pak Pande said gently, it's all right, good giant. Please come to my house and have dinner with us. Ande is cooking something special for all of us. The bad giant was happier and licked his lips. How kind of you. Now I can have you, your wife, and your children as well. It will be a special feast indeed, just in time for World Storytelling Day. Pak Pandey took the bad giant to his house. What a shock his family has. Ma Ande put everything she cooked on the table. Then the bad giant said, "Oh, what a feast! What a feast! Some appetizers and then 4 at a time." But Pak Pandey corrected him. 5, Mr. Good Giant, 5. We are 5 happy people here at the feast. The bad giant chuckled. Soon there'll be only just one. But suddenly, Pak Pandey understood what the giant meant. He thought sadly. He was very sad. The good giant want to eat us. Oh, when did he turn to a bad giant? Then, you know what happened? He said to the bad giant. He come up with a plan. Yes, he was foolish, but you know what? Pak Pandey loved his family. He loved his family so much and forced himself to think of a less foolish decision. So he said to the bad giant, "There's another family of 4 across the river, a mother and her 3 children. Come with me. I'm going there to invite them to join us for dinner." You see, the bad giant liked to eat little children. He said, "Sure, I'll come with you. I love children." Pak Pandey took the bad giant to the riverside. You see, he had a boat with a small hole on it. Pak Pandey did not know how to fix it, so the boat has been there all the time, with a hole, of course. So both Pak Pandey and the bad giant got into the boat and began rowing. The water came in slowly through the small hole, and halfway across, the river was very deep. Then the bad giant noticed that the boat was sinking. The bad giant cried, "Oh, the boat is leaking, the boat is leaking. You fool, now we'll both die." Pak Pandey smiled. He did not mind dying to save his family. Also, he was sad because the good giant has turned to a bad giant. That's what he thought. And thus, the world actually was not so beautiful after all. And that's what he thought. The bad giant saw Pak Pandey smile. Suddenly, he understood. Pak Pandey had done it on purpose to save his family. The boat began to sink. Neither the bad giant nor Pak Pandey could swim. The bad giant shouted, "Help! Help! Help!" Some people came out from their houses on the banks of the river. They felt sorry for Pak Pandey, but they did not want to save the bad giant. No, no, no. The bad giant cried sadly, "Help! I promise I'll never eat people again. I promise I'll be a good giant. Please help me, please, 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 please." The people got into their boats. They saved Pak Pandey and the bad giant just in time. You see, the bad giant became a good giant, but it was not because he made a promise to be good. You know why? It was because he was touched by Pak Pandey. The bad giant, now become a good giant, thought, "Pak Pandey may be a fool, but he did something clever and brave to save his family." And Pak Pandey was happy. He was glad that the good giant has become good again. Yes, he will forever think that he made the good giant all this while. Anyway, he was also happy that the world is a beautiful place, like he's always dreamed of. And back at home, Ma Ande, Awang, and Ara, Pak Pande's family, hugged Pak Pande when he returned. They never laughed at him again. And the people in the village, however, still thought Pak Pande was a fool, but his family knew better. The end.
That was such a cute little story, Nor. Thank you so much. That was wonderful, wonderful. I mean, the change in personality is the new beginning for the bad giant.
Yes.
That was really nice. And where did you get this story?
Well, the story of Pak Pande is very famous in Malaysia, and I'm sure in the region as well. And it was written like in all old books, and it is also a popular folk tale. Yeah, and he is a comic. He's a comic relief, and considered like in a collection of funny folk tales of Malaysia. Yeah, Pak Pande.
Okay.
He's very honest and straightforward. So people think of fool, but I love this story because I don't know, it touches my heart, and anything that when it comes to family and sacrifices and love, yeah, it just touches me. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Even a fool can rise to the occasion because he loves his family so much.
Exactly.
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We now move on to the next teller. This person believes in the strength of a warm, holding, and healing space and the power of stories. Through gifts of space and story, she finds herself working towards bringing people closer to themselves and connected to each other. She seeks to contribute to help people transform, heal, and live fulfilling lives. She is fascinated by the magic and power that every moment, every person's story holds every day. Her storytelling initiative is called the Bright Lamp Storytells. The Bright Lamp Storytells is on Facebook. She is trying to live a fulfilling life, one breath, one step, one day at a time. Please put your hands together to welcome Ramya Iyer.
Thank you so much, Shailaja, for that warm introduction. I'm just so honored and delighted to be here with everybody, and I've already listened to some beautiful stories. Very grateful for the opportunity to share a story with you all today. Oh, 1 minute. Something happened to my screen. Yeah, there I go. Okay, sorry. Yeah, there. காற்றினிலே வரும் கீதம் காற்றினிலே வரும் கீதம் கண்கள் பணித்திட பொங்கும் கீதம் கல்லும் கனியும் கீதம் காற்றினிலே வரும் கீதம். It was 3 in the afternoon, and Kaveri sat on her reclining cane chair near the window, drinking her 4th cup, her 4th dose of steaming filter coffee, listening to songs. As she sat there, taking the first few sips, her coffee drinking was interrupted by frantic doorbell ringing and some rhythmic knocks. She rose up from her chair, smiled, and walked up to the door, for she knew who was outside. She opened the door and ushered them inside. "You two are early today. How was class? How was practice?" Amma, I'll tell you everything. Amma, romba pasikardu amma. I know you will tell me you have time for class, you have time for music, you have time for friends, you have time for sleep, but you don't have time to eat. Enna sollardu onne? You only say my question, you only say my answer. Na suda suda dosa pandren. Come, sit. Hari, what about you? Did you eat? Anyways, I'll make dosas for both of you. Amma, you first go back, sit on your chair, finish your coffee. Our dosas can wait. She sat there on her chair, continuing that cup of coffee and smiling and thinking about how it had just been 3 years since Smriti had introduced Hari to her. Such a warm young person. She was so grateful that he was now part of her life. As she finished the last few sips of coffee, she turned to them and she said, "Isn't your function this Saturday?" "Illaya, 9th, this Saturday. That's what I've noted on my calendar." "Yes, Amma. Our function is on the 9th. And Amma, don't worry. I know you must be thinking that I don't step out from the house much, but your function with you playing the tabla and Smriti singing, chance illa, I'm not going to miss it for anything." "Amma, that's not what I was saying. Since you asked about the function, I wanted to tell you that I've invited Venkat also. It'll be so nice if you two can meet. And also this performance, this function is not just mine and Smriti's alone, Amma. It's an entire ensemble." "Hari, you've started this topic again. What is this? Is this my age to meet a stranger like this? I did not even meet anybody when I was your age. And why do you sound so stern like my appa today?" She smiled. "Amma, what is this? I'm completely with Hari. What age? You are so young. You have to listen to me. You have to meet with Venkat. Of course you're going to listen to us." Kaveri's cup of coffee was over. She got up from her reclining cane chair. It really gave comfort to her sore back. And the cushion on the chair had adjusted to her shape, and she just loved sitting there near the window on her chair. Maybe she liked the chair because it was not hers in the first place. She got up, and there was Hari and Smriti still sitting. And as she walked towards the kitchen, Smriti woke up. She walked up to her mother, held her mother by the shoulder, and for a moment, nobody knew who would break down. Both their eyes were moist. "Amma, I'm sorry, Amma. I spoke so abruptly to you, Amma. I'm sorry. I also miss Appa, Amma. But you know, our lives are moving on, Amma. But you, it's like, Amma, please understand. I want you to rebuild your life, Amma. We all want that." Hari said, "Were you not hungry, Smriti? Let Amma go and make dosas for us." There was Hari at her rescue again. She left Smriti and Hari to themselves, and she walked up to the kitchen. Smriti turned to Hari and said, "You don't know, Hari, you've not met the Amma that I knew for so many years. She was the uira of every party. So effervescent was my mother, and I can't find her anywhere now. That smile has disappeared. You know, Hari, when she would walk up to the adjacent Elliot's beach with Appa for just an evening walk, she'll dress up, stand in front of the mirror, put some nice mallipu. That was my mother. Where is she gone, Hari? We should do everything, Hari. Please, Hari." "Of course we will," he said. And they both sat down. Kaveri reached the kitchen. The green and blue mosaic tiles of the kitchen, that space, it brought her so much comfort. Wasn't it dance? Wasn't it Bharatnatyam that got her that comfort in life? When did it stop being that? What is she saying? Rebuild the life. Am I one building? Why is she talking to me like this? Her mind was drifting. The Chennai heat. She opened the window of the kitchen, wiped the sweat off her brows. But when Nanda, Did I not tell Nanda, Sandosha na mukhyo? Then why is it different for me? What do I do? And then she opened the door of the refrigerator, removed the always available dosa batter, and there her hands moved, making round dosas one at a time. Her mind was drifting, but her hands were moving too. And she remembered to fry Spriti's dosas in butter and not oil, just like the way she liked it. Her mind was drifting. Her hands were moving. And finally, after having some dosas ready, she walked up to the children and she kept it in front of them. And she said, here you go. And within no moment, with that malaga padi on the side, that super smelling dosas were all polished off the plate. She saw Smriti and Hari. Are you these children? I think they are struggling to make that conversation with me. Smriti, Hari, I just wanted to tell you, I know you're doing all this with good intention, but I am very happy. Why do you feel my life needs rebuilding and all that? I miss Madhav. I miss your Appa. He is what gave meaning to me. And in spite of all the struggles and fights, I know we had a great life together. And I have the best gift, you guys. I'm going to live my life through you. Amma, we want you to live for yourself and not just for us. We want you to go back to what you were before. We want you to go back to Bharatnatyam. We want you to go back to being happy the way you always were, the way Smriti tells me. You know, Amma, I struggle to make conversations with people. Smriti, when she meets anybody, she's able to talk. I struggle to do that. But the first time when I met Venkat, he made it so comfortable for me. He's a very warm person, Amma. So please, please, please come and meet with him. I'm sure it'll be fine. And you two have a connection. Both of you, love of arts. I'm sure you have lots to talk. Avar nallavaradan irpar. But it's just awkward. Amma. Smriti got up and she said, Amma, for the first time, please, just this once, can I be Amma and you be Kaveri. Don't forget the Kaveri in you. Be the Kaveri. And yes, on Saturday, I'm going to come and pick you up at 4:30. I want you to wear the Mambara colored Kanjivaram sari I got for you, the mango colored sari I got for you from my first salary. And you have to be ready. Please, Amma, just listen to me this once. And that's where the conversation that day ended. And Kaveri also did not, try to prolong the conversation. Budan, Vyayan, Velli, Sani. Okay, I have some 4 days. It's okay, she thought. That's what she thought. Tossing and turning. She just couldn't sleep any day after that. The night before the event, she suddenly woke up from a dream covered in sweat. She had seen herself dancing at the beach. Let me go back to sleep. And she went back to sleep. And she was also very glad that her son, Rishi, had not called. Because deep inside, she was wondering, what are these Priti and Hari up to? What will Rishi and Anjali think of me? That was the biggest fear that was in her mind. Next day morning, she tried to park everything that was on her mind till 3:30. She had time till then. She knew she could decide. And she finished everything that she needed to do that day. Of course, just like how time passes by all the time, time passed by very quickly when she didn't want it to pass by quickly. And slowly, as the clock moved to 3:30, she knew she needed to get ready. She walked up to her cupboard. She opened the shelves, and there on the second row of a shelf in that corner, she saw that beautiful Mambara color sari that Smriti had got for her. Oh, that day was so special. My daughter, she had grown up. She gave me a gift such a beautiful sari. And she removed that sari and took it in her hands and smiled. And a few moments just stopped by there for her. And she decided and she chose to be in those moments. How could she not honor the promise she had made to her daughter? She wore that marmara color sari and she stood in front of the mirror, just grateful for this moment. Should I pin up the sari? Should I not? Should I meet Venkat? Should I not? Am I doing this for them or me? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Her heart was beating, almost about to leap out of her body. She decided a few deep breaths and she imagined that her hands moved to the takadimita of her childhood Bharatnatyam teacher. And then when suddenly she opened her eyes, she felt really different and she just couldn't understand why. And before her mind could drift some more, there, somebody was at the door. Yes, he's come back to rescue me. That young man, bless him. It was Hari. Amma, I'm outside. I'm waiting for you. Come quickly. And she rushed, she closed the door and she sat next to him in the car. Amma, you look radiant, so beautiful you look, Amma, today. Smriti, I'm so glad she couldn't make it today. She'll be surprised to see you in the auditorium in this marmara color sari. You look so beautiful. Thank you so much, Amma. And just relax, don't be anxious. Everything is going to be fine. Hari, I know I can tell you this. You know, this is the time for me to be planning your wedding. Smriti and Hari's wedding, and not thinking about meeting somebody. What is this, Hari? Please try to understand, no? And you have no idea what Rishi will say and Anjali, it's just so awkward. Amma, you are going to plan a wedding for sure, but adukku idukku enna connection, Amma? This is about you. We want you to make friends again, Amma. A special friend? Yes or no, maybe it's okay. Venkat, maybe yes, maybe not. But we just want you to meet Kaveri again, Amma. The Kaveri who always laughed. The Kaveri who danced to her heart's will. That Kaveri. I want to meet her too. I've heard so much about that Kaveri. And Rishi and Anjali, what are you talking about? He loves you so much. You mean the world to him. And didn't you just embrace us in your fold? Me and Anjali, just like Smriti and Rishi. And why would it be any different when it comes to you, Amma? Just relax. Okay, she said, with a slight smile on her face. Amma, breathe. I'm so glad you feel an okay now. One step at a time. For now, enjoy this ride. And then your daughter's performance. And if you feel like it, a conversation. As he spoke those words, I don't know what happened in Kaveri. She smiled a smile she had not smiled in a very long time. Hari, are you always this mature? I can't believe you're just 1 year older than Smriti. Ayo, she said. She smiled as she opened the window of the car with the gentle breeze falling on her face and the sunshine bringing light to her. As she smiled that happy smile, Katrinile varungitam, Katrinile varungitam. Thank you so much for listening to the story.
What a beautiful story, Ramya. And I'm sure that you all would have been drifted from wherever you are in this beautiful wind that she took us to the house in Chennai. What a lovely, lovely story.
So tell us, Ramya, what made you choose this story for today?
So thank you, Lavanya. This is a story that came to me a few years ago, and the urge to just put it in words, and I happened to write that story, and it's been with me for some time. And when I was told that this year the theme is new beginnings, and I really hope that for all the Kaveris in the world and everybody who's in a situation waiting for that little push to look at hope and look at happiness and even meet themselves whom they've left behind again could be the new beginning. And here I am with Kaveri story. So Kaveri is almost alive for me. Yeah, thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And big round of applause for bringing in this story to us today. Well, with that, we move to the last and the final teller of this evening. From the beautiful smell that you listen or smelled from Chennai, I'm going to take you directly to Indonesia, because our next teller is from Indonesia, Aryo Zidni. Now, he is known very well in Indonesia as Ka'ayo. Now, if you're wondering what Ka'ayo is, it means brother Aryo. He is very well known for his unique facial expressions and his voice. Well, I should say something about Aryo. He was the one who founded the Indonesian storytelling community, Ayo Dongeng, and also the Nest, which is the storytelling community for adults in Indonesia. Not only that, he was also the founder of the first Indonesian International Storytelling Festival. When Aryo started telling stories in hospitals in 1999, he was drawn to the social healing aspect of stories, and he's never stopped since then. Today, he's a children's writer, he's a storytelling coach, he explores children literature and he talks a lot about it. And he's been invited to various international storytelling festivals in Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, and India, to name a few. Without any further ado, I welcome Aryo Zidni Ka'ayo. A big welcome from Bangalore.
Bumi goncang kancing, langit gelap kelip. Ono carito akoso. Ono carito kalian pawono. Once upon a time, in the island of Java, there is a small village. And on that village lived happy villagers. They're all happy because every day was a blessing day, full of happiness. The sun always shines brightly. The wind, the water, the plant, the green paddy, everything perfect. And on one specific day, there was a giant demon. Oh, I don't like those happy villagers. It really disturbed me. They always sing and sing and sing every day. They made music. Hmm. This cannot do. I hate that music. Ooh. I will do something, said that giant demon. Well, every day, those villagers, the happy villagers, they always love to sing. When they woke up, they always sing, Ler iler tandure was a miller. When they work, they always sing, Kuntul kuntul pacoco kelelengan. And also, when they wanted to go to sleep, they always finish the day with a sing. Ta lelo, 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 ledo. Jab mana. But that night, the giant demon Kalarahu was really angry. Well, Kalarahu said, "Oh, it's time for me to do something. I will punish all the villagers so they will stop making those happy song and happy music." Said the Kalarahu. But then he thought that he might need some power, more power to punish all the human, all the villagers. Then he got something, an idea. He thought that maybe he can go up to heaven and then drink tirta amrta water from the place of the gods. Well, maybe this is so familiar with you, right? So Kalarahu flows and went up to the heaven, the place of the gods and goddess, and try to drink the water of Tirta Amrta. But one sip of the water and not yet swallowed full, one god saw that that's not a god or goddess, that's a giant demon, and that one god punished Kalarahu. The god threw his weapon and made Kalarahu separated into two. The head floating on the sky, and the body fell down to the earth, right on the happy village. Well, since Kalarahu already drank a sip of the water, the immortal water, who will give long years of powerful and healthy life, the body of Kalarahu floating in the sky, and then started to think, Oh, I hate all the gods and also all the human. I will punish both of them. And then he started to think to eat all the things he can find in the sky. First, the clouds, the rain, the stars, the moon, and the sun. He swallowed the sun. This is the source of energy in the earth. So if I swallowed the sun, there's nothing left in the earth with life. And then suddenly, above the earth, everything went dark. Well, those happy villagers, first, they don't realize about the things that happen. After a few days, they realize something bad was happened. They're scared. They don't know what to do.
Ooh, what to do? It's so dark everywhere. We cannot do anything. What to do?
And then they started to bring back all the music and all the song. They started to hit everything that they found. And they started to sing. They hit the house. They hit the earth. They hit the stone. They hit the tree. Doom, 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 doom. Ning, nang, ning, doom, ning, nang, ning, doom, ning, nang, ning, doom. And they hit a big thing lying on the ground in the middle of their village. Doom, doom, doom. And that was the body of Kalarahu. And when the body of Kalarahu was hit, the head is getting a little bit dizzy. And then,
Oh, what happened with my head? I got a really bad headache, and I think I'm going to throw up.
and there goes all the clouds, the stars, the moon, and the sun. And since then, all the villagers, all the people in Java Island, they have a new beginning. If they see an eclipse happening in the sky, they will hit everything they can find. They will make music and they will sing to get rid of the giant demon Kalarahu. So if you got a little bit scared in your heart about something, so maybe you can sing or making music for your new beginning. And that's the story from Java.
Wonderful, wonderful. How wonderful. No, before I ask you anything else, teach us a song. Let us all sing with you. Teach us a small song in your language. We can all join in and sing with you.
Okay. Okay. So it goes like this. Ta lelo, 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 ledung.
Talelo, lelo, lelo, letung. Wow.
Meneng. It's a lullaby in Japanese. It's saying that, please go to sleep, my baby, don't cry.
Wonderful, Aryo, because even in Tamil language, we have this talelo. Talelo is used even in the Tamil language.
Oh,
And
really?
it's so amazing. Yes, yes, yes. And it was so wonderful when you started saying the nighttime song is Talelo. I could see, myself nodding. I mean, wonderful. All the Tamilians in this group. So
Wow.
we
Wow,
should
I'm
have,
very happy. So I
think,
guess we have a similar roots, right?
I think we should be exchanging more stories and songs
Yeah.
between Indonesia and us to know more about such similar things that is present. Beautiful,
Well,
lovely story.
the Java language had a lot of influence from the Sanskrit. So maybe that's why we have a lot of similar words with Tamil.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. And also what is wonderful is we started with the story about the sun going up with Aparna Atreya, and you ended with a story where the sun goes into the stomach and comes out again and goes up. Oh, what a wonderful end and beginning. Great. Thank you so much, Ariyo.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Soumya. Thank you,
We open it
everyone.
out to the audience. We'd like to open it out to the audience now. Please, you can unmute and ask. Talk to the storytellers. One question we can take per person. You can put a question in the chat as well if you want to ask the storytellers something. I would like to ask Ariyo one thing. Are you trained as a musician? You sing so beautifully.
Really? No, I'm just a storyteller.
Ariyo? Yeah.
Usually, storyteller is full of magic. So if you are pushed to sing, you're going to sing beautifully, right? And I heard a lot of storytellers just now sing beautifully. So I'm not a singer. I'm not a trained singer. No. Well, thank you.
Right.
Can I say something, Soumya?
Yes, please.
Hi, Ariyo. This is Meenu.
Hi, Minu.
Hi. Just loved your telling. I just got reminded that we have this we have Rahu god in Hindu mythology as well, which has a similar story of the head getting cut during the churning of ocean between the asuras and devas when they fight for the Amrit. And not only that, in Tamil there is this belief that when there is a solar eclipse, it's actually the Rahu catching the sun. So I saw that similarity, and of course the Talelo song. So there's a lot of similarity. So thank you for sharing that story from Java.
Yes, I knew that. That's why when Soumya invited me to take part in BSS story session, the things that come up in my mind is going to tell that story because I know my friends in India will knew about Rahu. But in Java, we call Kalarahu.
Kalarahu.
In India, Ariyo, it is
Yes.
Rahu Kala. So Rahu Kala, Kala
Ah,
is time. So Rahu
yes,
Kala
true.
is the time when the demon is most active. So that is the time when we do not, undertake auspicious things because
True.
Rahu Kala. So it's actually, you switch the words and there's a connotation in India as well. So I think a
Okay.
lot of deep similarities.
So we're 100% related.
Definitely. You also look alike.
No, that's why Lavanya started by calling you brother, right? I mean, we already relate.
Kayo.
But it was
Any other
wonderful
thoughts?
to have a variety of stories today. It was so lovely to hear folk tales and the author tale. And the variety also, one was so cute and funny. One was serious. One was valuable in terms of the sky and sun. You know, both were similar. The beginning and the end, like Soumya said, were very beautifully started and ended with a mix of serious and funny. It was a wonderful mix of all kinds of stories. Wonderful job. And thank you all.
Somebody in the
for
chat
being
is
here.
asking for more stories. Somebody in the chat, Hafsa, I think, is asking for more stories. Well, that will be for another day, another time. But still, the floor is open. You can ask Noor a question, Ramya Iyer, Aparna Treya. You can just share your thoughts.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. It's me, Devina.
Yes,
Can you all
Devina.
hear me?
Yes, Devina. Yes.
So, I loved all the stories, beautiful narration. Ramya, you just touched, story was so touching. There were tears rolling down my, from my eyes. And it was so beautiful. I could really understand how today's children, they have changed and they are so loving and caring in their own ways. So, yeah, it really touched me and I'm going to share it with my mom.
Thank you so much.
I don't know, I have no words, but I wanted to share this with you that it's a beautiful story and I'm going to share it with my mom.
Thank you. Sending you hugs, Devina.
Thanks.
All right. So anybody else? Aryo, sorry, Noor, would you like to say something?
No, nothing. Just like I'm just so happy to be here with all of you and listening to all these different story. And yeah, I mean, like it is special not only because it's World Storytelling Day, but to be in the same platform to the people, the storytellers who were earlier before me and who have all my respect. And some of them I learned from them. Okay, Aryo, I have Vikram here, and yeah, and I saw Lavanya before. Right, so it's nice to be with this with lovely group of people. Yeah, and yes, yeah, I love story. What can I say? Yeah.
We loved the sound of the language, the papandi or all that. So it was very nice and very melodious to the ears. We were having fun listening to your story. Thank you for bringing that to us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So to an end. Thank you once again, Ishaq, Ramya, Iyer, Aryo, Sydney. Thank you so much. I now invite the Bangalore Storytelling Society team to just share their thoughts and then the closing words by Vikram.
Terima kasih to both the tellers.
Terima kasih. Thank you
Sama-sama.
all for having
Very
me.
memorable World Storytelling Day. Yes.
That was so beautiful and heart is filled with joy. So very, very happy World Storytelling Day to you all. See you all very soon.
Many more stories to everybody, and I hope we don't need just this one day in the year to meet up and catch up on stories. I hope we meet up more often. We learn from each other, from our stories, and that is the wish that I'm putting out on the world on this World Storytelling Day.
Happy World Storytelling Day to everyone. I think what I found today and what I always find is just how similar we are. Although our stories are different, how similar we are as people and how we love to connect with each other. I think the love to connect with one another shines through every time we come together. So thank you all for the opportunity to listen to your stories, and all the audience for being here and being the listening ears. I think it's important for every storyteller to have listeners. So thank you for coming and listening. Thank you so much.
Soumya?
Oh, I thought I've spoken enough, too much today. I just want to thank all the listeners who came in today. Thank you for, I mean, it's not a thank you. It's like, yay, great you came, and glad that we could share these stories with you, that we all were there together to share stories. So, Vikram.
Beautiful. Like they say that, I mean, a listener, a teller. Who's a listener? Who's a teller? Who's the artist? Who's the creator? So it's all a fluid space. And long ago, we didn't have a dance day. We didn't have a theater day. We didn't have a painting day. And we'll have these days in the year coming past, because each day was a celebration. And we're celebrating what is dance, what is music, what is stories, and everything is like a fluid game. And today we need it all the more to reinforce the power of each and every one of it, to see how much we need to keep celebrating our life, because life itself is a celebration. And we will move to another Zoom window after this, go to another storytelling or another meeting. But maybe we just need to pause and look at the sun and retell the story to the sun and the moon itself. Because stories have that connection, and that's when the story blooms, when the sun and the moon come again into our lives. Stories we heard make the world of today, and stories we hear today make the world of tomorrow. Keep sharing, keep listening, and keep floating in this beautiful journey of life as a story. Thank you.